Welcome back, everybody, to another Digital Gate Studios production. Basil, you had to join me on this one.
This is a deck we've been looking forward to for a while. I think gone under the radar from a lot of people.
I think so, too. I think a lot of people saw the new level 6 and then kind of put it to the side without looking at the other pieces it got.
Right.
So let's jump into BT-13 Jesmon Tribal. All right, let's start with the eggs. So this is not going to change, and I don't see it changing for a while. The thing you want in Jesmon is you want your pieces. So whether or not you're searching for them, drawing them, however you're going to get them, this helps you draw those pieces. So when attacking, Digimon 6k or more, draw a card. So
never really going to have 5k when you're attacking.
Nope. Even when you attack with like your level 4s and stuff, they're all 6ks, so really strong. Jumping into what I think is the best searcher in the game, or one of the early best searchers of the game, is the BT-6 Huckmon. So reveals top 5, grabs Huckmon, Sistermon, Jesmon, whatever you want, up to 2 of them, and you can do whatever you want. You can pick. It's not one and the other. It's just 2 of whatever you need.
Yeah, a lot of the searchers that search 5 don't even grab 2.
Yeah.
But this one not only lets you grab 2, but lets you pick which 2 you grab as well.
Wild. Now getting into what makes this deck stronger in BT-13, and if you want to kind of take 2 steps back and think about the pieces that we got earlier. So we got like, I think it was BT-10, we got the Huckmon and the Bow Huckmon. Well, what did those do? They gave you plus 1k. Who cares? You're already swinging with Jesmon GX with the 3k buff from the Jesmon underneath it. You're 18, 19k. Do you need to be 20, 21?
Not really.
Not useful. The only thing useful in those cards were the name Huckmon, right? Because it activates your sister's effect. So now they snuck these under the radar, as you kind of said. So we have this awesome new level 3 Huckmon. Out come the security ones. Out go the BT-10 ones. And here comes this new awesome Huckmon. Only to be outdone by the searcher. But your turn, when you play Digimon with Sistermon, you can Digivolve into a Bow Huck, which is the level 4, for free.
Mm-hmm.
Wild.
Already good.
Already good. Because you're playing Sistermons essentially by effect most of the time. If not hard playing them to get their on-play effects, either whether it's gain a memory or draw a card. But you also get to do another fun thing next to it. Also, the craziest part about these new cards are the inheritables. Once you start building this stack and you have this out, and this is your Jesmon, part of your Jesmon line, in its inheritables, every time you play a Sistermon, once per turn, you gain a memory, which makes that expensive Digivolve into a GX cheaper and more manageable. Because it used to be like, I got to do this for 5, it's going to pass turn. And it's kind of the same negative effect of like the red purple Imperial. Like you're going to get to do one badass thing, but it's going to pass turn and they're going to have memory and then they get to react to it. But this, along with some other stuff, it gets kind of wild. Went down a little bit, so this is going to be the culmination of the rookies. I went down to 11 just because there is so much search in this deck. Went down to 3 of the BT-7 Huckmon. This Huckmon is obviously really good. It lets you reduce the number of sisters you play because you get to scry 5 every time you swing with your Jesmon and grab all Sistermons. This has backfired a little bit for me before because sometimes you are looking to get that combo off with your Jesmon, whether with the X antibody or the CL that lets you Digivolve while you're attacking and doing all that crazy stuff. Sometimes this will bottom deck those level 7s or level 6s that you really want. So it's good to have in your stack when you need it. It's one that I kind of, if it's a later game and I'm building a stack, my Jesmon stack, I'll use this one if I have the pieces in hand. But typically you want to use the new one.
And if you had to cut any of these for the security rookie,
it would be this one.
Be that one.
Yeah. Okay. Now we're going to go back to some OG. So BT-4 Bow Huck. Super good. Deletes floodgates, deletes Pamumons, deletes all the things that are going to kind of get in your way. Also good against the mirror. But overall, this is one that I just can't find room to take out. Like I said, the BT-10 Bow Huck was 1k.
Yeah.
You want 1k or do you want to?
Ooh, 19.
Yeah, who cares? So still really good, still really relevant. Jumping into the next one, we have the new Bow Huck. Same inheritable as the new Huckmon. However, It also lets you digivolve into your saviors for cheaper when you're playing Sistermon. So basically same effect as the Huckmon. It just lets you chain into these. Like if you're playing multiple Sistermons, you can essentially build another Jesmon stack for free or cheap next to that Jesmon while you're doing it.
Yeah, or ordinarily you'd be, oh, once I deal with the Jesmon, the Sistermons aren't as threatening.
Yeah.
Then you have to deal with a Jesmon and another Jesmon and the Sistermons.
Yeah. A super good card. So now you would think, okay, well, what other Bauhucks do you fit into this deck? And I don't. I don't feel the need. Just 8 of the Bauhucks. I do play another level 4, and that is just 1 security tech Greymon. I feel like this card is just good all the way around. If you're going to ask me, do you want to stay tribal and get 1K, or do you want an extra security attack? I'm going to go with the extra security attack.
Jeff might have a different answer.
Probably. But tribal be damned. It is what it is. It's a very good card. It makes, especially if you do get the one-off unsuspend with the savior, the restricted savior, swinging for multiple checks.
That's going to hurt.
And it makes, Jesmon GX already swings for at least 3 checks, so it makes it really strong. And then we're jumping into our level 5s. Let's get into ST12. Run 3 of the ST12 saviors. Really good. This actually pairs really well now with the new Bauhuck, because when digivolving, this Digimon may also attack your opponent's unsuspended. So now the trade-off with that before was, well, I'm going to digivolve for 3. It's probably going to pass turn. I'm not going to swing unless you're swinging to Blitz, which is what you wanted to do before. But now it kind of gives you a little bit more freedom. Is if you're going to use this Bauhuck to digivolve into this for 1 instead, so much stronger. Gives you so much more versatility, more memory to do whatever you're going to do, especially if you have the new Huckmon underneath. You're gaining memory when you're playing a Sistermon, so you'll be able to do a lot of fun things.
You only really need 2 memory to go from a 4 to a 6,
yeah,
which is kind of insane in a deck like Jesmon.
Yeah. Jumping into the new Savior. Run 3 of that one as well. Very, very good. Obviously, when this one just lets you warp into a Jesmon for cheap when you play a Sistermon, reduce the Digivolution cost by 2. Super strong. Also, it's got the crazy inheritable that the other one had. Play a Sistermon, and it's hand or trash, so it's not restrictive like the Blitz Jesmon, which is just hand. It's another just as unrestricted one as the Savior underneath it. That's the exact same inheritable. Super strong. Play some Sistermons, but you also digivolve for cheap. So really good. And of course, we play the 1 restricted. I'm going to put it up here. 1 restricted. Really good. It doesn't come up as much as it used to. Honestly, I think that they might be able to unrestrict this card and be okay with it. Maybe. The inheritable's really good. Obviously, it unsuspends, right? But a lot of times you're Jesmon GXing and you're still probably passing turn. So it doesn't, you don't get to swing again if it's not your turn. But,
I think they could keep it at 1.
You can keep it at 1? All right. And then I run 1 Chimeramon as well. So that's kind of where the rub was with all these new cards is, well, where does the Chimeramon strategy go? Because that was the important part of the deck. Because obviously trying to build a consistent line of 1 tribe and also having all these sisters, you don't have a lot of room for options or tamers.
Right.
So you really wanted to try and keep that hybrid for games strategy, and that's kind of what the Chimera was, and that was pretty relevant in this set for a long time. But with the new consistency of building another Jesmon, gaining memory, warping into it for way cheaper, I feel like this is fine just as a one-of. You could drop one of the boosts or something to do another one if you want, but then you end up with a lot of level 5s.
Yeah, it's already 8, and you only have 9 level 4s, so if you go to the same amount, it kind of could get a little weird.
It gets a little clunky, but if you have to, the reason I'm at that many is because if you have to use this in your raising, you're hurting. Like, don't do that. Like, keep this in your hand, save it for when you want to win the game. Jumping into our level 6s, we have 3 of the starter deck Jesmon. Still the best Jesmon in the game. Digivolve, Blitz when attacking, gain DP, play a body. Really, really strong. Obviously, you want to swing that, play the Sistermon that lets you digivolve, and obviously, if you have the right pieces in your hand, just go up, build into a Jess GX, and win. And then we go 3 Jess X, so 3 and 3. Jess X by itself is not a bad digivolve. never hate to do it. It's not as good as going on top of the Jess and getting the free, because it is a free Digivolve, which is wild, but it's not a one cost. I think that is what's kind of thrown a lot of people off when I play this, because they're like, that's got to cost at least one.
Gotta cost that one.
No, it doesn't. And honestly, if you Digivolve with the Jesmon, Blitz, play out the Sister CL, or if you have the X antibody option underneath it, you can Digivolve into this for free. With the new CL, you'll gain memory because you're Digivolving into a Royal Knight. You're going to swing. You're going to play a Sistermon with the Jesmon. If you have the new Inheritables, you gain memory there. Or if you didn't, you can Digivolve. When you Digivolve into the Jesmon, you're playing another Sistermon. You can gain memory there. And if you're playing the BT-6 Sistermon CL, you're gaining a memory from playing her. So there's a lot of really cool combos with that. These are my level 6s. I do not play the new one. And I think it's mostly just format based, because I think that we're going into a stack heavy format.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going super wide. This is a spot in the video where you can really sub things out if you want to. If you do, I mean, it's really about your locals and what you see at your locals. If you see some crazy D-Brigade stuff at your locals and you want to counter it, or the mirror. If a lot of people are playing Jesmon at your locals, the new Jesmon is good against the mirror.
Yeah, because it's in any number of your opponents.
Yeah. So you can spread that out. It's a decent tuck with the Jesmon GX, but it doesn't play sisters, so it doesn't really help you in that regard. So I would just stick with these 6. 2 of the Jesmon GX. I've tried to go to 3. Seems like you don't need it with all the search in this deck. Essentially, every time you hit it with the Huckmon, you're going to grab it just to have it in your hand for that win con. Super crazy strong. Blocker, piercing, scary tech +1. What else do you need? And then jumping into our sisters lineup, we got 2 of the BT-6 Blanc. Draws a card, makes blockers, kind of classic, and then one of my favorites, and this is one, so this is just the BT-6 CL, but this is one that I think has gotten remarkably better and power crept up instead of power crept out with all of these new inheritables and new fun things, because this one gains a memory on play, which was always good with the Jesmon X and stuff, but pairing it with the memory gain of playing a Sistermon by itself, if you have the right stack, you're gaining 3 memory by playing the Sistermon for free.
Yeah.
And it's so super strong. And once again, why do you need those old pieces when this gives everything plus 2 KDP on all turns?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't... It makes everything already even stronger.
You'd blitz with the Jesmon, play the Sistermon, and then bring the turn back to you.
Yes. Super, super strong. And then getting our draw engine going, we run 2 of the ST12 Sistermon Blancs, pitch 1, draw 2, kind of the universal card. I ended up pre-release, I had to buy another Jesmon starter deck just because I keep running out of these, because they go in so many decks, Machine Dramon and a lot of purple stuff, Royal Knights. There's a lot of new stuff that plays this card, so I had to pick up some more. Thankfully, each starter deck comes with 4. So
nice.
Yeah. Starter deck CL, this is one you could trade out a little bit if you wanted to, if you want to go heavier on the blockers or heavier on the next card. It's good because it gives your GX reboot, which is kind of important, just so it's not sitting there ready for a retail level 3 to swing into it and kill it on the next turn. So it's pretty strong. It also helps you find Huckmon, Royal Knights. Will bottom deck sisters, or trash the sisters, which isn't a terrible place to put them. So, and then the MVP of the deck is the BT-10 Sistermon CL. This is the one that lets you warp Digivolve, gain memory for Digivolving into a Royal Knight. That's really good. I would recommend, if you want to go up on any of the sisters, I would go up on either this one or the BT-6 CL, one of those 2. You want to go up on your 4s because your Chimeramon is what's going to be your win con on your level 4s.
Can't warp with the draw 1 trash 2.
Correct.
Or draw 2 trash.
Now, this is always the topic of hot debate. This is the one that I got interesting comments on the last one. I am not a Master to Disciple fan. It's not for me. This deck doesn't play Tamers, so raw memory is far more important to me than even more... I mean, this searches as well. It just doesn't search out of trash.
Yeah.
It's very good. We're just going to go red memory boost. Just 3. I like raw memory because you can't use those to Digivolve in Raising, and I feel like that's where the heart and soul of this Digivolving is in this deck, is you want to make your strong stack in Raising before you pull out and you start doing your secondary stuff. I'm just not a fan of Master Disciple. I know it's tribal for the deck. I know it was meant for the deck, but I think that this is just a stronger move when you want to finish your turn and go into that big Jess GX play and make it your, especially if you have the unsuspend,
The only thing that I could see for Master Disciple over the red boost is if you don't have any sisters in hand.
Yeah.
Master Disciple's best.
Yeah.
But there's so many sisters in the deck that you're going to want to just draw a Jesmon or something like that anyway.
Yeah. Searcher's at your level 7, which is always nice. And then last card of the deck, 2 of X Antibody Option. I played this deck without this, and I'll tell you right now, it's a completely different deck. It's wild to, so you don't have to rely. That's why I went down to 2 of the Sister Monsiels from BT-10, because you don't have to rely on them to do your fun warp stuff. This gives you a little bit more room in the deck to do other stuff, and it's good out of security, passes turn all the time. Not much to say about it other than it lets you digivolve into your GX or your X Antibody or your Jesmon GX.
Right. Jesmon GX is an X Antibody. Yes. It's worth noting.
So that's it, guys. This is my long-awaited. I've been waiting for these pieces forever. Yeah. I know that this was the first thing. I just grabbed all my pre-release cards and threw in because I knew what I wanted to do with this deck. And I've made a few changes, but it's a blast. For sure.
we are 4-1 out for Lava Garidamon.
Yeah, the Lava Garita.
But I think these new pieces make this deck not only more consistent, but I think also having that memory gain is very underrated.
Yeah.
I think this is a deck you could easily take to locals and people be like, Jesmon, why are you playing Jesmon? They're like, oh, I see why you're playing Jesmon.
Yeah, you can get into the Jesmon GX and swing for almost their entire Scaredy stack on like turn 3 if you get the right cards.
And pass them to 2.
Yeah. So that's it, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you in the next one. Thank you, Basil, for joining me.
Of course.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.